It's really interesting that you talk about this because this touches on so many debates we have here in Australia, where our present Labor government really is at war with the Australian consumer and Australian businesses over energy. How specifically are they? Is this about getting out of the way of companies and consumers, or is this more about also, enabling, smoothing processes and creating a kind of an energy abundance?
Yeah, definitely both, James. Of course, he talked about, getting out of the way, not having that, really, terrible stance that we're against American companies doing well, but also looking at, reforms of permitting. Joe Biden made it very difficult for places to get permits to do, new drilling, for example. He's going to be really overhauling the whole system. And what I really like about it is we know that there's going to be a lot of pushback from the left and from the bureaucrats who are there. And
but also
so
Congress.
He has a great, exactly, Congress. So he's going to be very, very careful. He's going to make every decision that he makes and any actions he takes, he wants to make them lawsuit proof. So he is going to follow the law to the letter. He's going to be getting that research, that information, and study it. He's going to be hearing from the career FDA bureaucrats, letting them provide their research, their thoughts. He's not going to prejudge any outcome. He's not allowed to prejudge. He's not going to cut any corner. He's not allowed to cut. So, Lee Zeldin is a lawyer himself. He ran for governor of New York, didn't win, but did much better than any Republican has in decades. And so he knows. I mean, honestly, James, we saw the ACLU was putting out ads after the election, before Donald Trump was even president, saying, donate to us, we're going to sue Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So even before they know what he's going to do, the left is ready to sue. So Lee Zeldin, a very smart guy, and he's going to be very careful in what he does. And the FDA, as Lee pointed out when we were talking, so much of what Donald Trump said on the campaign trail is stuff the FDA has jurisdiction over. So talking about energy, talking about getting off of the backs of business, so many things that Donald Trump talked about, it runs through the EPA. So this is actually a really crucial position, and I'm glad that we have someone like Lee Zeldin, who's obviously very smart and is going to make sure he does all he can to make America great again and keep people from going to the courts to overturn every action. I mean, we've already seen so many lawsuits over Trump's first week of executive orders.
Yeah, look, that's absolutely fascinating, and I hope that many people in the opposition here in Australia, particularly looking at energy policy, are looking at watching this, because Australia has pretty serious decisions to make in this area as well. But before I let you go, also, the Democrats seem to be in real disarray with Donald Trump in power now. A new Quinnipiac poll shows that only 31% of voters have a favorable view of their party, compared to 57% unfavorable. Kelly, how do the Democrats even begin to climb out of this?
Well, great question, James, and they'd love to know the answer. But, from everything I'm seeing, there are so few Democrats that have learned any lessons from what happened in November. I mean, let's face it, they hadn't learned anything about what happened in November 2016 either. They are in disarray. They don't understand why the American public rejected them so soundly. They're shocked that Donald Trump not only won the Electoral College, but won the popular vote. They just can't believe a Republican, especially someone they hate as much as Donald Trump, won that popular vote. And instead of, looking in the mirror, doing a bit of reflection on themselves and their policies, blaming Americans for their vote. Well, Americans vote with their interests, and their interest is having a secure border, back and having business, be encouraged again, and the end of this woke DEI crap, which Donald Trump is moved against on day one. And so they really do. They're kind of leaderless, because Kamala Harris wasn't much of a leader to begin with.
But they've also got this sort of other problem. I think, it's not just about the cost of living and all these really important things. I think culturally, they don't really understand kind of the people they're trying to get to vote for them. I mean, this is a party that picked Tim Waltz to go and do the whole loser sitcom dad thing who can't take spicy food as a way to connect to middle American men. I mean, the Democrats, they don't really seem to understand what makes everyday Americans tick, do they?
They don't, James, and that's a prime example. You know, I mean, the Republicans are so much fun these days. You've got Donald Trump doing the Trump dance. You know, Melania doing with him on inauguration night. People around athletes around the country have been doing the Trump dance in celebration, whether they get a touchdown, you know, or a goal. I mean, it's incredible. The Republicans are having fun, and America needs fun after 4 years of President Biden and his really dour view of America and Americans. And Democrats are not listening. You know, Kamala said her campaign was one of joy. There was certainly no joy in her, and certainly was no joy in Tim Walz. That guy just, you know, he's like the worst angry white man you can imagine.
Absolutely. Kelly Jane Torrance, thank you so much for bringing your excellent perspectives and interviews and scoops to us again on the U.S. Report. Look forward to you joining us again soon.